Indonesia books record low inflations in 2020. Indonesia's capital market is expected to grow positively in 2021. Good afternoon, viewers in Indonesia and Singapore. Market Headlines is ready to provide you a number of information from business, economic, and capital market sector. With me, Clara Tawijaya, and this is Market Headlines. The Indonesia Statistic Bureau, or BPS, recorded inflations in December at 0.45% month-to-month. And the result, throughout 2020, Indonesia recorded inflations of 1.68%.
The Indonesia Statistics Bureau, or BPS, recorded inflation in December at 0.45% month-to-month. As a result, throughout 2020, Indonesia recorded inflation of 1.68%. Deputy for Statistics, Distribution and Services of BPS, Setianto, said that there were 87 cities in Indonesia that recorded inflation, most of which showed price increases, and the rest 3 cities experienced deflation. Of the 90 CPI cities that experienced the highest inflation was Gunung Sitoli at 1.87%, mainly caused by the increase in red chili prices with a share of 0.64%. Meanwhile, there were several CPI cities that experienced the highest deflation of 0.26%. Mainly deflation in Luwuk is the share of 0.1% red chili and then 0.09% air transport. Meanwhile, the lowest deflation rate was recorded of 0.07%. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
Moving on to the next coverage, the Minister of Health, Budi Sadikin, ensures that the first stage in completing the provisions and approval of vaccinations in Indonesia will be completed in the next 1 to 2 weeks. The target for completions is Bursa, so that the next stages related to COVID-19 vaccinations can be carried out immediately.
Indonesia is certain to get 3 COVID-19 vaccines produced in other countries, namely the Sinovac vaccine, which has arrived as many as 3 million doses, then the Novavax vaccine and the AstraZeneca vaccine, which previously was preceded by the signing of a vaccine supply agreement. Health Minister Budi Gunadi Sadikin said that within the next 1 to 2 weeks, the first stage in the provision and approval of vaccine licenses in Indonesia could be completed, so that the next steps regarding vaccine distribution and injection can be carried out immediately.
Saya merasa bahwa tahap pertama mengenai penyediaan dan persetujuan vaksin insya Allah bisa kita selesaikan dalam waktu seminggu atau 2 minggu lagi, sehingga kami di Kementerian Kesehatan bisa masuk ke tahap kedua, bagaimana memikirkan distribusi vaksin ini ke seluruh pelosok Indonesia dalam jangka waktu yang singkat untuk bisa diberikan mulai ke tenaga kesehatan, kemudian juga tenaga publik dan seluruh masyarakat Indonesia.
The Minister of Health added that the COVID-19 vaccine injection program could not be successful without assistance from all circles of society. For that, it is hoped that assistance to inject vaccines into the community to all corners of the country runs smoothly. From Jakarta, Wicky Adrian for IDX Channel.
As a clarification of the previous reports that vaccinations takes up to 3.5 years, spokespersons of COVID-19 vaccination, Siti Nadia Tarmizi, emphasized that the time frame targeted for Indonesia in implementing the COVID-19 vaccinations is 15 months.
After the news emerged that Indonesia needed 3.5 years to complete the COVID-19 vaccination, COVID-19 vaccination spokesperson Siti Nadia Tarmizi emphasized that the time frame targeted for Indonesia in implementing the COVID-19 vaccination is 15 months.
Secara total kita membutuhkan waktu 15 bulan. Ya. Jadi 15 bulan yang akan dihitung mulai dari Januari 2021 hingga Maret 2022. Hal ini juga sekaligus kami ingin mengklarifikasi terkait beberapa pemberitaan yang muncul sebelumnya bahwa dibutuhkan waktu 3,5 tahun untuk merampungkan vaksinasi di Indonesia.
Nadia said that vaccination is carried out in stages with the aim of completing the COVID-19 vaccination program, which will be carried out in 34 provinces with a total population of 181.5 million people. Meanwhile, for the first vaccination period from January to April 2021, she revealed that currently the government already has 30,000 vaccinators who are ready to carry out the COVID-19 vaccination. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
It is a deal. Government supports 35.07 trillion rupiah or 26 state-owned enterprises as a working capital. Six state-owned enterprises just got 35.07 trillion rupiah from government. The capital injection to these state-owned enterprises comes from the budget in 2020 National Economic Recovery Program. Bio Farma will receive 2 trillion rupiah, while PT Penjaminan Infrastruktur Pemerintah will receive support amounting to 1.75 trillion rupiah, which was signed by President Joko Widodo on December 30, 2020. Still on the same day, Indonesia Exim Bank will receive 5 trillion rupiah. On December 14, 2020, President also signed several supports as well. Foreign Wealth Fund will receive 15 trillion rupiah. Next, Indonesia's foremost player and respected brand in the finance sector, PT Bahana Pembina Usaha Indonesia, will receive 6 trillion rupiah. And the last, PT Hutama Karya will receive 7.5 trillion rupiah. From all sources, IDX Channel. Market headlines will be right back after this quick break. Stay tuned. Holiday vibes is in the air. Take your time to celebrate your affections, values, and desires with your loved ones. Wishing you all the best. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Welcome back to Market Headlines. Despite in the midst of pandemic, Indonesia's stock exchange still posted remarkable performance after a drastic sell-off in the first half. This can be seen from Jakarta Composite Index that has reached its highest level on 6,100.
In 2020, once JCI reached its most downturn on the level of 3,900, COVID-19 pandemic becomes the main negative sentiment of the worst scenario. But at the same time, Jakarta Composite Index has reached its highest level of 6,100. Indonesia Stock Exchange good performance is reflected in a newly listed company. In the Indonesia Stock Exchange noted that up to December 30, 2020, there were 51 companies that conducted initial public offering or IPO. This made IDX to be stock exchange with the highest number of IPOs in the ASEAN region. Meanwhile, until the end of 2020, there were 713 companies whose shares were listed on the IDX. Furthermore, IDX expects to see better stock market performance this year, along with the government's announcement plan for economic recovery. From all sources, IDX Channel.
So here it is, the first trading day of 2021. JCI was opened in the green zone after a year of massive volatility, but the bull market record streak has room grow for this year. And many stock market analysts expect that the broad market JCI will climb in 2021. Such optimism comes because even in the midst of pandemic, capital market is still performing good. From the most basic indicator, we can see it from the total IPO that didn't much fall significantly in 2020 compared to 2019. So how was it? So let's see through the next graphic. Here it is through your screen. We can see Indonesia Stock Exchange IPO journey. In 2017, there were 38 IPOs, and then moving on to 2018, it was recorded 57 IPOs, and moving on to 2019, it was recorded at 55 companies that went public. However, in 2020, it didn't much fall significantly because it has a corona inside it, but it kept recorded by 51 companies that went public. And then we can say that the rapid snapback rally from the rock bottom interest rates for rejuvenating JCI willing and dealing. And there is still a laundry list of upcoming IPOs for 2021. The Indonesia Stock Exchange is targeting at least 30 more companies to go public in 2021. And this number is considered low because in 2020, as we know, that the number of companies conducting initial public offering was 51 companies. But however, 51 is not bad at all. The realizations in 2020 has led Indonesia to become the stock exchange with the largest number of IPOs in the Southeast Asia. But still, we are many steps away with other leading countries by the number of IPOs in 2020. So let's see the stock exchange with the most go public companies in the next graphic. Here it is. Through the next graphic, we can see Shanghai Stock Exchange that recorded 396 companies that went public in 2020. The Shanghai Stock Exchange ranked number 1 among global exchanges in terms of deal volumes. Deal volume surged about 49% on the year-on-year, while the deal proceeds from the fund raised from the IPOs jumped 55% year-on-year, according to the data from the accounting and consulting firm EY. And next, there is Nasdaq Stock Exchange. In 2020, the Nasdaq Stock Exchange welcomed 300 initial public offerings. It raised about a total of $77.86 billion US, a total of 179 operating companies listed on Nasdaq in 2020. This represents an 83% win rate in the US market. And as the top 3 deals around come from the Chinese mainland and Hong Kong markets, there is the Shenzhen Stock Exchange with 261 companies that went public in 2020. But we have to appreciate Indonesia as well. Among ASEAN countries, we win. In terms of IPO, Indonesia becomes the stock exchange with the largest number of IPOs in Southeast Asia. Not only that, the Jakarta Composite Index, or JCI, recorded a positive trend, which is the average daily trade data also closed positively at the end of 2020. Increasing trade data means that public have been positively involved in Indonesia capital market. So let's see how it goes. Here it is through the next graphic. We can see the average daily transactions value of Indonesia's stock exchange. In 2019, it was recorded at 9.1 trillion rupiah, and in 2020, it was recorded at 9.18 trillion rupiah. And in 2021, it is projected to be only 8.8 trillion rupiah. So as we can see that Indonesia's stock exchange is aware that 2021 will still be a tough year. Therefore, Indonesia's stock exchange projects a reachable target number, which was 8.5 trillion rupiah, and the target was revised as being 8.8 trillion rupiah. And the target is adjustable. They will review it gradually and see the progress from month to month, whether the target is relevant or IDX can improve it. So in short, IDX can revise it again. So actually, it's difficult to quantify precisely how much global capital markets will be affected by this pandemic. What have we seen? However, it's that structured finance and capital markets encompass a variety of asset types that have been directly affected by the outbreak. And another achievement by Indonesia's stock exchange is the number of investors. The total investors in the capital market in 2020 has actually jumped. Let's see the next figure. Here it is through the next graphic. We can see Indonesia Stock Exchange single investor identifications. Despite the pandemic, the number is increasing. In 2020, IDX recorded by the number of 3.8 million SID or single investor identifications. But however, because of the optimism that IDX brought to the public, in 2021, it is projected to reach 4.75 million SID or single investor identifications. So in short, the total investors in the capital market in 2020 have actually jumped. As of the end of December, the number of capital market investors, I told you before, it reached 3.8 million single investor identifications. This went up 56% compared to the end of 2019. And of this number, stock investors were 1.68 million. This went up 53%, but back again. After a couple days off, stock exchange is on action again. And this morning was open at the green zone, which was 5,997. Way much better if we compared it to the lowest level that was in 3,900 in March. And in short, momentum stocks have dominated the pandemic bull market since the steep market corrections in March. But then the tide has shifted in a week since COVID-19 vaccines have arrived and as the outlook brightens for the value stocks. And yes, viewers, historic breakthrough on the vaccinations front and new fiscal stimulus deal might bolster many hard-hit industries such as travel, financials, energy, and stock market as well. So stay tuned to market headlines because we will be right back after this quick break.
Let the magic of the holiday fill your heart with excitement, love, and hope for an amazing day and incredible New Year. Have a wonderful Christmas, everyone, and Happy New Year.
Baik saja tidak cukup, kita harus betul-betul memahami lingkungan bisnis global yang lebih baik, plus di dalam negerinya sosiologi dan antropologi supaya totalitas kita membantu petani secara efektif.
Kita memang ketahanan pangan, tetapi kita menuju ke kedaulatan pangan.
Ada shadow power yang mendikte pembangunan sektor pertanian bukan oleh Kementerian Pertanian.
May this Christmas bring your way plenty of reasons to smile. I wish you and your family a very happy and joyous Christmas season. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. So viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. So earlier today, JCI was open at the level of 5,954.43. And then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index is on the level of 6,038.5. And the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session's closing time. The index was closed at the level of 6,104.9. And in short, JCI went up 2.1%. And next, we're going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got mining as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 3.95%. We got agriculture that went up 3.9%. We got constructions that went up 1.07%. And consumer goods that went up 1.04%. And moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading session. We got ANTM that went up 13.18%. We got Telekom Indonesia that went up 5.44%. We got BRIS that went up 4.89%. We got ISAT that went up 14.85%. Meantime, for the top losers for today's trading, we got PJIS that went down 6.95%. We got Agro that went down 1.45%. We got ITMG that went down 1.44%. And ZINC that went down 3.16%. Step aside, we're going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah at the beginning opened at the level of 13,870. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. It was closed at the level of 13,889. In summary, rupiah went up 0.98%. Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs Erlangga Hartarto officially opened the initial stock trading in 2021. In his remarks, the minister expressed his optimism for the Indonesian's capital market this year.
The Coordinating Minister for Economic Affairs Erlangga Hartarto officially opened the initial stock trading in 2021. In the opening ceremony, the minister was also accompanied by Chairman of the Board of Commissioners of OJK Wimbo Santoso, Chief Executive of OJK Capital Market Supervisory Husen, and President Director of Indonesia Stock Exchange Inarno Jayadi. In his remarks, Erlangga expressed his optimism for the Indonesian capital market this year. The minister said that the uncertainty of the capital market will decrease this year. He predicts the Jakarta Composite Index could reach the level of 6,800 to 7,000 by the end of December 2021.
Optimisme juga terlihat di pasar modal sejalan dengan penurunan risiko ketidakpastian di pasar keuangan global tercermin dari volatility index dan credit default swap sudah semakin membaik dan IHSG diprediksi bisa mencapai 6.800 ataupun ke 7.000 di akhir Desember 2021. Dengan mengucapkan Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, saya dengan resmi membuka perdagangan Bursa Efek Indonesia 2021.
In 2021, it is targeted that 30 companies will conduct IPO. Erlangga hopes that the amount of funds from the IPO is quite significant and will continue to grow. From all sources, for IDX Channel.
And as viewers, there's still a list of a laundry of upcoming IPOs for 2021. One of them is Widodo Makmur Unggas. The poultry company plans to go public by this month.
Thanks to the rapid snap-back rally and rock-bottom interest rate for rejuvenating JCI's wheeling and dealing, there's still a laundry list of upcoming IPOs for 2021. One of them, Widodo Makmur Unggas. Chief Executive Officer of Widodo Makmur Unggas, Ali Masadi, stated that his poultry company will conduct IPO by this month. Company will release a maximum of 35% of the issued and fully paid up capital. The emission value targeted is between 1.8 trillion rupiah to 2 trillion rupiah. From all sources, IDX Channel.
Step aside from market conditions as coronavirus pandemic takes a big role on current economic situations. Here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. And the news close on market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, the Trustworthy Economic Business and Capital Market Channel. I'm Clara Antawijaya. Have a nice evening and stay safe.